Good evening. Tonight is August the 22nd, and we are the Pepperell Board of Health. We are being televised live by Pepperell Community Media, and we're also being recorded by our secretary here for the board. And the first on the agenda this evening is the acceptance of minutes from 8/1/17. And do I have a motion to accept the minutes from 8/1/17?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of 8/1/17.
And I will second that motion. Philip, you were not here, so he will abstain from voting. And I have a first and a second. All in favor to
Aye.
approve the minutes, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, the first on the agenda this evening is for 53 Groton Street, apartment number 4. And we are going to speak with the landlord. The landlord is here this evening. Okay, looking for a reprieve from a written order. Do you want to, hi, what's your name?
My name is Deborah Dias.
Deborah Dias. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I sent a package. I'm not sure if you guys received it.
Yes.
I feel truly that this couple that moved in is using this as an excuse to not pay rent because they're very, you see there's like 4 or 5 minor violations and all of them have been corrected. In fact, one of them is basic as they said they found a mouse in their house. Well, July 10th, I had a whole company come in, and as you can see by the texting, I said to them, well, somebody was here this morning. Oh, no, you didn't, you're lying. There's just no reasoning with them. And they keep telling me, I keep asking them for the rent. As I said, they moved in June 4th. They have not paid July, August, and September's next week. They won't pay a penny. And they keep sending me texts saying that we're not going to pay you till the violations are fixed, the 3 or 4 minor violations, but they won't let me in. And so I've been dealing with Kayleen, and Kayleen's been sending them letters saying, you got to let her in, and they're saying no. In fact, even the other day, I had a call from the rental furniture company, and they asked me as a landlord to let them in to get the furniture because they're not paying for the furniture either. They evidently feel that they should have free housing and free furniture and not be responsible for anything. And so the reason why I'd like to have this rescinded is because everything has been fixed already, and what I'm doing is taking them to an eviction to court in the middle of September. And I don't want to show up with the judge and say, there's violations because I can't explain that. I'd like to have it rescinded so I can actually deal with the problem at hand, that they're not paying their rent. And then it goes a step further. They are actually terrorizing the other 3 families. I have 2 widows on the first floor, and they hear screaming and yelling, and there's strange odors coming down the pipes of ammonia and burnt plastic, and they won't tell me till I'm near in person. And I say, please let me know so I can call the police so we can get this started. And they're afraid. And I even have a text from one other tenant saying, we are afraid to report anything because he just makes threats. So not only are they not paying the rent, but they're very rude and obnoxious. They're terrorizing the neighbors, and they're leaving their trash everywhere. And Kayleen, again, you know, Kayleen's in your department, right?
Right.
Kayleen had to cite them for leaving their trash everywhere. So you would think that, okay, after getting a violation, they would comply, but no, they're still having their trash everywhere. We have a 32-gallon trash barrel with a cover, but they would leave it by the mailbox and they refuse to walk down to get it, and they just leave their trash and bags everywhere. So over and over again they're saying we're not paying the rent because we have all these violations, which there are no violations. So it would be a great deal to me to have them removed because there are none. Everyone in here has been fixed. Just the only one I can't get in to do is and they say the window has a little slice in the side of it, a little gap. But I can't get in to do that. And even the closet light that had to be repaired, I have notation showing that a month before the Board of Health came, that we came to fix the light and they wouldn't let us in. And so he even said, Chris Shea, please leave the light by the door and I'll install it. So guess what? They're using that for a violation. He said he'd fix it. It's a little light you plug in. So there were no violations, and it would just make it so much nicer. They shouldn't be here. And all my tenants feel the same way, but I asked them all to come, but they're all afraid. And I even called the Pepperell police about a week ago to tell them there are strange smells. I couldn't say anything because I have no proof, but I told them there were strange smells, there's a lot of yelling and screaming going on, and they informed me they can't do anything unless it's in progress. And unfortunately, nobody in that building will step up and say something because they're afraid. And that's why I need to get them out, because they're not nice people at all. And even, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, when they moved in, they're supposed to give me the cash for the security deposit and the rent. Well, they gave me a check because they said that the money was crossing. I said, fine. It bounced 4 or 5 times to this day. They haven't even paid a security deposit. So they've been living there for almost 4 months on $1,300. No security deposit, no rent in July or August. And they're hanging on to this thing about there being violations. And they are so quick to try to sue everybody. If I go back to what happened 2 days ago, when the rental guy came to enter the house to take the furniture, he had a police escort. I think it was Lieutenant Adams, right here in Pepperell. And the woman came out screaming, saying, "You are terrorizing our 16-year-old daughter, and so we're going to file a harassment suit against you." So they just want to sue everybody, and they don't want to pay anything. So I'm just trying to make it so I can go to court and evict them. Because I know if I show up in court, the first thing the housing court is going to say, "Oh, there's violations," and I can't explain, like I'm explaining to you, they're all fixed. I don't have time to explain that, and they'll just say, "Okay, give them 3 months," whatever it is, and we'll never get them out.
But in order to have these violations fixed, Kayleen will have to go in and readdress the situation to inspect that these violations have been fixed. And so she did reach out to the tenants and ask them about, talk to them about being able to have you have access to the apartment to
And they
to
still
have her.
refuse.
So you haven't
Margie, they still
heard,
refuse. No,
yeah,
they still
nothing.
refuse. They won't let us in. They're holding up like in a fortress.
And when are you going to court with them?
Middle of September. And so
Okay.
I'd like to have this rescinded because everything on here that's just feasible is done. The last thing, the mice, I have proof that we had an exterminator come in. The hallway light has been fixed. The only thing on there is a little closet light, which he wrote saying, "I will install it," and that little teeny gap in the window, which I don't even know if there is a gap in the window because I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that was never confirmed.
That was never
You,
confirmed. And also, if you go back 10 days earlier, I got a letter of compliance, right here, from the town of Pepperell, 10 days earlier, saying everything is fine. So how could there all of a sudden appear to be a window? Did you want to see this?
Yes.
So 10 days earlier, I had a letter of compliance saying everything's beautiful.
That was from an earlier complaint.
Yeah, this
Right.
is from June,
From-
yeah.
Right, but-
From other tenants.
It was the same, it was a different woman right before them, and that was June 28th. They said, and they moved in, I'm sorry, the letter came on the 28th. They moved in on June 4th, and then I got another letter saying I have these violations 10 days after that letter of compliance. So I don't know if they just went around and put a piece of hair on the baseboard, or made a gap in the window, or made the window of the closet blown, but they're all minor. There's nothing, there's no violations on there that is health related.
But-
How about the first room right, door handle locks, unable to open door?
That wasn't like that, but they're screaming and yelling and banging so many things, they might have just jogged it, because like I said to you, they yell and scream all night long.
See, our problem is that, at least speaking as an individual board member, Kayleen, who is a registered sanitarian and does the inspections, has issued you orders to correct. I don't think it's within the purview of the Board of Health to rescind those orders without a letter from her saying that they have been corrected.
But I
she-
cannot correct it, that's the problem, and they're never gonna let me in, so 3
Well,
months from now.
you need to, I think you need to re-communicate with Kayleen.
Right.
And if she truly cannot get in
Then-
after repeated attempts,
Well, she wrote the letter to them,
then.
Right.
And
And
I-
this was on the 9th.
and I still can't get
So-
in. 'Cause like I told you,
Right.
I was there Monday morning trying to get them in, the repairman to get the furniture out. And not only, did you see what she wrote to me?
I was,
This nice, kind lady, living for free, she wrote to me, I wrote, "Good morning." This is 48 hours prior, because I know you have to get 48 hours.
I don't think it's the
Right.
board's purview to get into
right.
a
The
problem or a dispute between you and the landlord. And I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
But it is within our purview to make sure that we have safe and sanitary housing.
But it is safe and sanitary, like I said
But
to you.
we have violations,
Right.
and until I see that the violations have been corrected, I think we can
Right.
continue this.
But
or-
why,
So-
why does it say I have the ability to rescind it then? How can I rescind it? I mean, they're just using this for an excuse. I wouldn't put it past them to go around the house and break a closet light or to make a slice in the window. That's the kind of people we're dealing with. And I just got a compliance letter 10 days earlier saying everything was fine. What happened in 10 days?
That I cannot
Right,
address.
we don't know. This is Kayleen, you need to speak with Kayleen because she's in contact, she had been in contact. We need to find out from her what the situation is at hand right now. If these tenants have responded to her at all, how the letter was, received by them, if they have.
No, I understand that.
And we
but-
can't, we still have this notice to correct here, and she needs to still go out and inspect and make sure that all of these were taken care of, so,
but
This is not the first time
right.
that we've had a tenant landlord problem. We've had this several times before. We're not the police, we're not the lawyers, and we're not the judges. We have a complaint. We have we have to go by the laws, regulations.
No.
Okay, wait a minute, I'm not done. Give me a chance.
Fine.
Each time, it comes down to a lawyer. Now, what is your lawyer doing? It's his job. It's the court's job. All we can do is give you time,
Right.
okay? Your time is up. We'll give you another 3 months, another 4, another 6 months, okay? The people are giving you a hard time, you can't get in. I'll give you another 6 months to fix it. Now your lawyer's got 6 months, okay? We're off your back, okay? See what I mean?
Right,
But we can't do anything about it. We can't get those people out of your house.
Right.
no, I know that. I know you can't do that.
You're not letting me finish. I'm trying to tell you, we can't do anything about what your problem is. Only thing we can do is enforce the laws of Massachusetts and our town. You get me?
Yes, I do, but it puts a landlord in an unbelievable predicament when you're telling me that I have 3 violations. Actually, there's 1 left, the closet lights and the window. There's 2 little things, that's
How
it.
about the door? They're unable to
locks.
open a door if there is a fire.
That is not true. That's because they're banging and throwing things around. There's also a little holes they made through the closet. They are terrible.
Are you saying the health inspector tried to open the door and she couldn't open the door?
I think she couldn't open the door, but she opened 10 days earlier, and it worked 10 days earlier.
Well, but
and
we're
the only
talking about,
difference
we're
is-
talking about the day that she made the inspection.
Right,
The
because they were
door cannot
fighting.
open.
Right, 'cause they
I'm
were
not going
fighting.
to, I cannot get into the
I'm
nitty
explaining
gritty
to
of
you
the.
why. Right, I'm explaining to you why in 10 days it worked, and then 10 days later it did not work, because they are living there and banging things around. I'm just explaining it to you, because I have the compliance letter right here 10 days prior, saying there is no violation. Now, all of a sudden, a door doesn't work. Now,
And that's something that the Board of Health has to deal with if there were a
If
fire.
Kayleen came down there with a police officer right now to make an inspection, they would have to open up because she's got a police officer with her.
Right.
Would she be able to open that door?
I bet you she will.
No. If that's the case, then the door's working.
So you need to speak with Kayleen again.
You need to
Okay,
ask
and we're
Kayleen
gonna
to
give
make
you-
another inspection.
Right, and we were gonna give you
Okay.
another
We'll give you an extension.
extension, and then
And
you
then
need
Kayleen
to
will
get
have to make
Kayleen to come
another
down there with
inspection
you,
to see if
okay?
everything's fixed.
When
Because she has been in contact with these tenants, so this is now, she needs to go in there and do this final inspection.
Now, when is your next meeting?
Our next meeting will be, Sandra is gonna
First
be
of,
The 5th of September?
no, the 3rd of October, is that?
No, September.
I mean,
September.
excuse me, the 5th of September, I'm sorry, I'm looking way out. So the 22nd, we'll be meeting on the 5th, but when is your housing, well, your housing
It's
court
like,
is when?
September 11th, and I didn't want to show up there because I know I know what they're doing, and I'm sure you guys understand as well, but I know your hands are tied.
Right.
But I just don't understand why Kayleen told me to come here to rescind this if I can't do anything. I spent like 10 hours getting all these texts and paperwork proving that they're just standing there, won't let me do anything.
But you have also information here from Kayleen that shows that she has also reached out to them, that
And they've
they
done
have to be
nothing.
in compliance, so that the judge will understand that you have been, they have not complied with even what the health agent has reached out to them. So, with that being said, I think you have a little bit of, at least something to go in with.
Can I get Kayleen with the police order to go in there before September 5th?
You're gonna have to talk to her about that. I would suggest that you call her tomorrow, whenever. Sandra, when is she gonna be in the office here?
She'll
again?
be in tomorrow, 8
Okay.
to 10.
Who writes the compliance letters?
Kayleen,
She
Kayleen?
does.
So she
She's
could
the-
do it on the spot.
yeah.
Is it possible to have a police officer there and I'll do the compliance like right there while they're there? Probably take me 10 minutes.
That's
and
something
she
you
could-
need to discuss with her.
She could
Can
give
you-
us compliance
that
right
for me?
there and know that, hey,
That's
all
all-
this stuff is fixed.
Right. I understand.
And then when we walk out the door and they just start to destroy the department,
I
the
understand.
apartment again,
I think she still has to come back to us, doesn't she?
Right.
If
For
this
what?
is a unique case.
But
that's the
this'll be the
problem.
fifth-
It's
that'll
gonna be a
on the fifth,
never-ending
though.
thing. We
Well,
fix
she-
things and they break them.
You know what I'm saying? If it could happen, you need to speak with Kayleen tomorrow, okay? This is all we can suggest right now. This is all we
sure.
can do for you right now. We cannot rescind, the order. We cannot give you a reprieve from this right now because this is still open and it's between Kayleen also and,
Is
The health
she-
See, what
agent is now
happened is
involved.
Kayleen would have been here tonight,
right,
but her brother had a severe motorcycle accident.
Right.
He's down in Mass General,
Oh, boy.
and he's in severe
but she will
problems.
be here,
It's her brother, and she just couldn't be here tonight,
Oh, I
right?
understand.
unexpectedly.
So,
Otherwise, she would have been here tonight.
Sure, yeah,
And we
no,
can-
of course,
we can give you
Family is
this,
family.
right,
exactly,
so,
understand that.
no. It's
It looks like we gotta
unfortunate.
coordinate everything with her.
Right.
Mhm.
I would really suggest that you do that. It would be in your best
I
interest.
wish she had told us
But-
that to save us from coming here and
But
wasting everyone's time.
right now,
Well-
in case things don't go the way
Be-
you'd like them to go, we can extend
Right.
your order tonight.
Which is what we were gonna do for
I
you
would
tonight.
suggest you do that, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, right, sure.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you can, whatever,
And
maybe you
talk
have
to
to move out
Kayleen.
the,
And if she can work something out with you and come back on the 5th, fine. If
Okay.
not, you've got an extension for 6 months, if the board goes along with it. That's up to
6
them.
months? No. 6 months is too long.
Not with the door that
That's
doesn't.
Yeah.
too long?
Yeah, that's
If
too
you have a
long.
fire,
Oh,
you're gonna
okay,
be in
fine.
problems. I
Right.
would give the
We
One
need-
extension
guy
to
was
the
only
5th.
here for the,
Like, excuse me,
we need
there's,
to have it
there's
over.
2 means of egress in that apartment.
Okay,
Could I have your
It's not
name?
just one door, there's 2 means of egress,
Well,
2 separate
I'm not a
stairs.
fire official. When I see a
Right.
door that is unable to open,
this is all we know.
This is all we
You have to
know.
understand, this is all
Well, I'm just saying, you're talking about fires,
Right.
so, I mean, there's.
We don't know that, though. We don't know which door or whatever the situation is at hand
Oh,
there,
they just said
so-
a door, they didn't specify.
Did specify the door.
Could I have your
And
no
name?
guy was here for
It's
good
the-
luck.
it's
Door handle locks, unable to open the door. The first room on the right.
Does that mean they can live rent-free
Oh,
for
that's-
6 months?
Yeah, that's just
that-
one of the
it
bedroom,
does.
it's not even a bedroom, it's like an office room. It's not even big enough to be a bedroom.
Okay. I mean, but we don't,
we're meeting
How
again
about
on,
3 months?
we're
We
meeting
can go
on,
along
we're
with that.
meeting on the 5th. On the 5th. I think you would like to get this taken care of sooner than later,
I want to be
correct?
back here on the 5th with
Right.
the lovely people and say, Deb,
I
you're
was-
done.
I was gonna
Because
say.
they are, I'm not sleeping at night. I'm not sleeping, my tenants aren't sleeping. I know it's not your concern, but
I
they are
understand.
horrible, horrible
If-
people.
I
do have
understand.
empathy for you.
Kayleen
Believe me, I
can give us a
understand.
compliance letter on the spot, if we can fix this and work it out somehow that it goes like that. So we can say, hey, that day, they were compliant.
Correct.
We can take that to court and then, they can come back and they'll probably start destroying stuff as soon as we walk out the door,
Okay.
but we'll be in compliance. So they'll kind of get the gist of the
That's up,
situation.
that's up to Kayleen, so.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if she has the
please call her.
authority to do that,
I know.
that
I
would
don't,
be,
I don't,
I don't know.
She's the health inspector, so
Well,
you have to
I don't know
remember.
how the court system works. How
Right.
about 3 months? Would you go along with that?
I think we don't know enough to do
Exactly,
that.
to do
safety.
that
I would
kind of an
extend it to
extension.
September 5th, and if we have to,
Yes,
after
and then we'll
Kayleen,
extend it after.
we can extend it again.
Just at least so we can have you come back for the 5th.
Their expiration date for this is 8/26.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
when-
So we can extend it to
fifth.
the 26th, correct? To when it expires.
8/26 is the date, they have 30 days to comply. They
Right.
signed the letter on 7/26, so
Right.
they have technically until 8/26. So if you were gonna do an extension, you would go from 8/26
on.
and then add your
Okay.
extension time from the
Okay.
expiration date.
All right.
I would extend it to the meeting on the 5th, and if we have to,
Well,
extend it
they're,
again.
they're still within the expiration date at this point.
Correct, yes.
So if we need to extend it, we can address that at the next meeting. Correct?
Well, it expires the 26th
But
of
we're
this
gonna be
month.
meeting
It
on the.
expires August 26th.
August
Oh, of
26th.
this month.
Yes.
I thought you meant September.
No, August
Gotcha.
26th.
All right, so we're gonna have
We
to
don't
do
wanna-
it on the 5th.
Yes, we don't want to put them
All right.
in the position of,
Exactly,
Fines.
okay, that's fine.
it's not fair.
All right, no, it's not. I'm sorry, you guys, I understand.
know,
I
I'm-
understand completely, I understand. You have no idea how I understand.
We've been
So,
trying so hard, we changed the whole look of the place, remodeled it,
Yeah.
final siding, we're trying to make it nice. And
Right.
We just wanna get out of here now.
I
don't wanna
know.
stay anymore.
I understand. I do. I do understand. I've been through this myself, so I do have complete empathy for you. I'm
I
trying
remember
to.
the others and how they were playing games back and forth. And I'd rather have, you have the time so that if they continue with their
Correct.
games, you don't have to worry about the other part. But
Okay,
go-
so you
go your
wanna,
way.
you think
I
you
do
wanna
have
extend it?
I do have one more question for you. The
Okay.
other three tenants in the building are fed up. So what happens if they all leave now with all these extensions? What do I do then? Just let them go? The other three tenants wanna leave because they're so
Of them.
bad. They scream and yell so much at night. They wanna leave. And I have that written down in one of the texts as well. So I'm so close to losing all four tenants. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Tell them they need to go to the police station to make out reports.
I've tried that, Philip. I've tried. I call them. I try to be present with them. I go there. I'm holding their hand. I even tell them to text me in the middle of the evening and leave my phone on, and I will call the police. They don't know who it is, and they're afraid. He walks around the house and he screams in front of everybody, "I'm not giving Deborah an effing penny." That's all he says. He throws his trash everywhere, and people live in there, hiding in their apartments. This is a terrible way. And this is right down the street in the center of the town. I don't know what else to do.
Have you talked to the police department about what they're
Yes, I
doing?
did. I called them a week ago, and I explained the situation to them. I said, something's going to happen. I want to give you fair warning. And they said they can't do anything unless
You
somebody
talk to the
calls.
chief and that your livelihood is being threatened and the
Right.
Yeah,
tenants are being threatened.
I explained the whole thing, and I also added, I cannot say for sure because I have no proof, but 2 out of the 3 tenants smell a strange pneumonia and a plastic smell coming from that house, and we all know what that is. And the gentleman taking my call said, well, I can't do anything. I said, could you please get a sticky and stick it on the wall so everybody reads this? Because I want them to know, so when they do get a call and there's something bad that happened, I try to be proactive weeks ahead of time. This is how bad it is. They're all ready to walk out. And the ones I worry about are the 2 widows on the first floor. They are afraid to leave the house. And it's a beautiful place. So much. My husband and I have been working there every day for 4 years to make it look nice. We put the driveway in. Everything looks so nice. And they just
Final.
I understand.
got gutters.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think Kayleen will do everything humanly possible to get in there.
She will.
Well, like I
She
said,
definitely will.
on Monday, that furniture guy came with the Pepperell police, and they wouldn't let him in. And the Pepperell police said, I'm sorry, they're refusing entry, I can't let you in. So I don't know if Kayleen has more clout than that. But the police wouldn't let them in, and then Bonnie, the wife, started screaming, saying, you're harassing, my daughter's gonna be sick now. And he said, I'm gonna arrest you for yelling, but of course, then she stopped yelling. They won't let Kayleen in. They won't let anybody in. It's like a fortress in there. They're just living for free, doing everything for free.
Do you have a contract with them for?
For a year.
Month to month, or for a
No,
year?
for a year, unfortunately. That's why when I go to court,
When
it's
is it
very
up?
difficult. They just moved in the 4th of
Oh,
June, and they
oh.
haven't paid July, August, and there's no way they're gonna pay September.
Mm-hmm.
There's just
Yeah.
no way.
But it's
Okay.
the other tenants.
That's what I'm concerned about.
That-
One tenant's been there
that's
for
the
4.5
that's
years.
a lot of the problem,
Right.
is the other tenants.
I've been
And they shouldn't have to live like
Right,
that
right.
in fear,
This is
especially
something
the
you need
widows.
to take up with the housing court.
We are,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, we put it in, I think it's July 10th or July 15th, and our
Okay.
time is until September.
Right.
It just,
Yeah,
you wait
You don't want to
and
miss
wait.
that date either, so,
Well, I actually got an attorney for the first time because I'm just
okay. That's good.
trying to do it
You're
right.
moving forward, so.
Yeah.
Might take you a little longer, but it's gonna happen, so.
Yeah, your
For you.
attorney is good. I hope you got a good one.
Oh, yeah, believe me,
Attorney's
it's,
gonna talk to your tenants.
yeah, he's a good one, all right. He's, he's,
That's
yeah, I did a
good.
lot of research. That I picked right. I picked him right. I didn't pick the tenants right, but I picked him right.
And you never know, they can, it's tough to
Yeah.
do the background on them. I'm sorry, Deborah, that you're going through this. I
Thank
really
you. I'm sorry I'm getting
truly am.
emotional. I just,
It's
I'm
okay,
not
I
updating you.
totally understand. I totally understand what it's like. And so we'll meet again on the 5th,
Yes.
okay? And I want you to get a hold of Kayleen.
Yeah, I'd like to get
You
this, like
know.
my husband said, he is the most handy man I know. He
Okay.
walks in 5 minutes, he'll fix that door, and we'll be done.
Right.
We'll be
That's all
done.
it need, that's
That's
all
all it
you need.
needs.
It's really,
That's it.
you know.
It's a
the
5 minute,
locks and
10-minute
the-
thing.
Do you want a motion to extend?
Yes. Okay, we're gonna I would like a motion to extend the date of the written order until September the 5th, till our next meeting when we meet.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we will be meeting again on September the 5th, and the motion is for that, and all in favor of that motion state by saying aye.
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 I'm sorry.
Aye.
Come on back. and
Well,
we'll-
I appreciate your
we'll-
time.
It's okay, I
Thank you.
understand, and thank you for giving us the details. Okay,
And we'll try to get in this week as soon
Okay.
as we can.
okay,
Take care of that door.
all right.
And then they won't be able to say, unless they find, like my husband said, unless they break more things
Right.
on the way out.
You can give Kayleen a call about 10 after 8 tomorrow, if you
I
like,
will.
right here.
I will.
You know the number you call me at? Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so,
Can you just refresh my memory, because I'm the number I called,
433
433
0328.
0328. I'll call her
Yes.
at 8:10.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much for your help.
Oh,
You've been great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
have a nice
I
evening.
don't know if I'd
Hang
be
in
able to
there.
do this.
They all did, they said.
Okay. Hi there, how are you doing? What do you think?
She called me when you saw me go out,
Yes.
and she said she was probably 15 minutes out at that point,
Oh, okay.
and that was
We'll
probably
just go to
You
Yep.
just go on
minutes
to
ago.
other things.
Yep, we can go on to other things. So we have health agent comments. She's not here this evening, so we're gonna go with, we have some permits to sign.
Yes.
Looks like for 37 Emerson Circle, 90 East Street, and also an upgrade that
Okay.
Kayleen wants us to.
37 Emerson. East.
This one for 37 Emerson Circle is straightforward, and there's no
Yes.
variances
no.
that I noted, so.
No. As well for a straightforward, do you need to sign?
We have to do a motion.
Yes, okay. Do I have a motion to approve the septic for 37 Emerson Circle? Just get my notes here. Sorry about that. Philip? Do I have a motion to accept the new system permit for 37 Emerson Circle?
Certainly.
Okay, do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
And all those in favor state by saying aye.
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 That is the last house in Emerson Circle to be
That was
completed.
it.
Yes.
Last house. Here you go, Phil. Okay, and we have a system upgrade for 90 East Street. Permit. Straightforward.
Mhm.
Okay. That's received.
Make a motion.
Do I have a motion? Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion, we approve 90 East Street upgrade.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Philip. We have an upgraded 125 Shirley Street, straightforward.
Make a motion, we approve the upgrade for 125 Shirley Street.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor state by saying aye.
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 Okay. And for Philip. I did see the eclipse the other night. That was
Yeah.
the other afternoon, I should say. Somebody had a pair of glasses that they had had for a long,
Oh.
long time that were especially for eclipse glasses from previously. And it was perfect. Eclipse viewing glasses. Although we didn't get the best show, but
Yeah, we got a little bit of it.
Got a little
We were
bit of
out in
the
the
show.
parking lot yesterday afternoon looking.
it's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Okay, well, so do we have any new business? Any new business, anything?
No.
Nothing?
I leave that matters that may be raised. I can't leave just that sentence without leaving new business or old business.
Okay.
They seem attached at the hips. So,
You can't separate them.
no.
You can't separate the two. That's
So
okay.
that's why you gotta
So,
That's all right.
read it like
anything
that.
New business or old business. The two go hand in hand.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything for open discussion there? Did you, do we have some,
I can't believe they shot that bull.
which one?
The bull that was running around free for 5 days.
Where was this bull? I didn't.
In
Littleton.
Littleton.
Aw. Well, that's kind of a sad thing.
Because they couldn't euthanize it.
Oh, well. Hi there. Can you sign
Hi
in,
there,
please?
can you sign in?
Thank you.
Not so far away.
Yeah, come up to the front now that you
We just got someone
Move
last
everyone
night.
out of the way.
emptied the room, basically.
They said they can't
Euthanize.
give the shot to domesticated animals.
Oh,
Oh, is that on the bull?
it was the
state-
bull.
Yeah, they cannot tranquilize domesticated
Yeah, well, the
animals.
state Humane Society lady said that she never heard of that before. She came on the news tonight.
They didn't tranquilize it? I thought they tranquilized it and it didn't work.
They said they can't
Huh.
tranquilize any domesticated animals. And I said,
For
that don't sound right.
Right.
maybe ones you're gonna
So the
eat.
police department
How
shot
many
it.
ones do we eat?
And the
Because of
farmer was
residual
outraged.
tranquilizer you made.
Sad.
That would be like Thanksgiving full.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Oh, sad to say. Sad
Sad.
result, yeah.
Dangerous sometimes. All right, so this is for 40 Prescott Street. The Homeowners are inquiring about the septic system, number of bedrooms, and approved permit. Hi.
Hi.
So who will be speaking here?
I might start.
All right,
They're
and
pretty well prepared.
what is
so
your
they
name?
might run over me. Cheryl Gould. I'm an attorney from Littleton.
Okay, hi Cheryl.
And I have been representing this property and the Venturas for a number of years now. When they bought the property, excuse me, when they bought the property in the late 90s, I believe it was, they had a Title V inspection done. And the Title V inspection was submitted, thank you for, yeah, if you don't mind. The Title V inspection was submitted to the Board of Health here, and the then reigning Board of Health Administrator approved it, and the Title V report said that it was a 4-bedroom home. Obviously, there was nothing that contradicted that. The tax assessor's cards called it a 5-bedroom home. So they went ahead and by the way, the house is a very large, older colonial home, and there was nothing to contradict that it was a 4-bedroom septic and looked like a 5 or more bedroom home. And so they went ahead and they purchased the property based on that information and that understanding that it was at least 4 bedrooms and approved 4 bedrooms. They're now getting ready to sell it, and they were looking through the records in order to get ready to do the Title V inspection for sale. And they noticed that in the old file there is an old permit. It doesn't particularly identify the property well, but the old permit reads that it's a 3-bedroom permit. So prior to getting this Title V inspection and having a report come in that says it's a 3-bedroom, we wanted to come here before you and show you the evidence that we believe this has been and should be a 4-bedroom, and that they should not be constrained by the permit. Now, I brought a lot of documents today, and I'll just kind of hand them to the board. I have multiple copies, but I don't know which way this is really going to go, so.
Okay,
There is that
we have.
old permit that's sitting in the file.
Mhm.
What is relevant is that when the Venturas bought this property, there were 6 acres and there were 2 homes on one lot. So that permit reads that it's 40 Prescott, but we really don't know whether it was a permit for a small house on the lot that's no longer there, or if it might have even been for the house. This lot line wasn't in here in this year that this permit was
I'm gonna move it
was
to the center,
granted,
Phil.
which is 78. This lot line wasn't there, and by the way, there's another lot line that wasn't there, and so it is quite possible. That's the same one. This lot line wasn't here. The original owner owned all of this,
Mhm.
and since 78, there were subdivision plans where he parceled it off. So it's very likely that there was a 3-bedroom house that he got this permit for that wasn't even this locus. That's what we're maintaining. Because then after that, as I said, when they bought it in 99, they had this Title V inspection report that clearly reads 4-bedroom. It was then approved by the Town of Pepperell Board of Health, stating that they reviewed it and it's fine, and if there were deficiencies, if this house and this Title V were supposed to be related to this permit, which Board of Health had in its file, we maintain that they should have brought it up at this time to say, no, this report is deficient, it's only a 3-bedroom. So my feeling is that when the Venturas bought this home, this permit went with the house over here that was already sold off, because there's no other explanation for it. It just, this could not have been approved with the 4-bedroom Title V on that permit. Now, it's been assessed as a 5-bedroom actually by the assessors. The Venturas bought it. This is a listing agreement from 1981 showing you a very large antique colonial on this lot. That house is an antique colonial on this lot since 81. It could not possibly have been a 3-bedroom design because there had to be more than 3 bedrooms in that. There are now, how many bedrooms are in it now, really?
5.
There's
Well,
4
there's
in law.
It's 4 and more.
So it's 4
So-
plus an in-law, so it would be 5 bedrooms.
Yes.
Right. So all we want is to conform to this Title V, to have this board agree that this property is more likely than not a 4-bedroom, has been a 4-bedroom, and should be Title V inspected again as a 4-bedroom, so that they can go forward and sell their property based on their reliance on the earlier board's approval of this as a 4-bedroom home, and that's what they bought it as. This is the other map I wanted to show you. So this fellow, Johnson, before them, owned 1, 2, 3 in a row here. And that was all number 40. My surmise is that this permit went to a house, what do you think was on the left or on the right?
It's hard to say.
It's, yeah, I think it's probably the one, if you're looking at our house, the one on the left.
So I think
The one that's actually on that for sale as part of the property as another house. They're actually advertised it with the sale in 1981, as we have this colonial that's sitting on 4 acres, and we also own this other house that's sitting on a little over an acre. It's a smaller house. So they said you can buy both of them and use this other one as another property, or, you know, I think they were choosing that you could buy it all, or you could buy one or the other. So the people that we bought the house from just bought the colonial on the 4 acres in 1981. And then someone else must have bought the smaller house that was on the next to us.
And what's also relevant is that this subdividing happened in 78 and 79 respectively, with this permit being in 78. So it makes sense that he was permitting a little house to sell it off. It doesn't make sense that he was permitting an antique colonial that had been there forever with probably an old system. There was no need to permit that antique colonial. It's not like a...
It's 78. Let me give you a copy here.
Now, I did speak to Kayleen, your Board of Health agent, and she acknowledged that she looked all through the files on all of the street numbers around there
Oh, she has, okay.
and came up with nothing else. So it's also odd to me that there's a house on either side and they don't have permits. That's odd to me that the Board of Health is usually pretty specific about that.
But he's the agent. Yeah, he's the agent. Passes. So now, currently, when you're selling the house, have you had a Title V?
No, we want to get one now, but I want to be sure that the Title V that they get isn't tracked to this permit that says 3 bedrooms, because I don't think that permit goes to this house.
Well, they will
Well,
inspect that, you know.
I got 6/1903 here.
This says
It says
42.
3-bedroom.
What are you looking at, Bill? Is that,
That was a
Permit for-
septic,
This is, yeah, for 42.
No, this is 40.
This is 40.
This says 42.
Oh, great.
Correct.
03? We were living there, 03.
Huh?
We were living there in 2003. We never did anything to the septic.
This says 40.
Frank and Susan,
This one says 40. This one says 40.
Gloria?
No,
No, that's
that's
not
Top
you.
page
No.
for this one.
Ventura.
I think these are all in a pile like
It was a
this, so-
3-bedroom.
Yeah, I just
bed.
go
Not a
to
border.
The confusion about the street numbers is that this property is numbered 38 to 42.
There's another one.
So if there are 3 houses, the first one's 38, the second one's 40, and the third one's 42?
I don't think that's what happened. The one beside it is 36. This property is 38 to 42. So I think that in the one instance, they called this 40, and in another instance, they called it 42. But I also think that at the time that this was done, this property was about
This is 42.
6 acres. So there's, see, this parcel was this parcel. It was a total of 6 acres when this was done. I think that this 3-bedroom is for this little house that was built here, then sold off. And that this antique colonial hasn't had.
This one's
A
40, and this
permitted
one's
house.
42. They're both 3-bedroom.
What is that, Phil?
That's this one, I
Because if it was the load,
think. This one,
because if it was for 150, I'd make it.
3-bedroom,
This one
name
will
is
be-
that in?
40. 3-bedroom.
What is that, Phil?
That's a 1978 permit that you're
Mhm.
looking at, perhaps?
The 78, is that the 78? Nope, that's the 03.
I don't understand why there's an O3 permit.
I don't know what that's all
We never
about.
pulled
It's
the
really
permit.
not, it's an application
Been there.
for,
Building permit.
it's a building permit.
Oh,
That was
Yeah.
for a
That's for
shed.
something different.
And
That's
it's
for a
just
shed.
rebuilding.
and the,
But when they
the-
did that, they were looking
But
at.
they were
Still
looking
says-
at the permit.
The other
Still says
thing,
the
the
3-bedroom.
other thing
Yeah,
that-
but that,
I don't know who wrote that.
yeah,
We didn't
Right.
write that.
we didn't write that.
I like it. I love to confuse things.
Yeah, I mean, there were like 2 things in our file.
Really was very-
Our Title V that says 4-bedroom,
It
and
is
then
kind
we
of
found that
confusing
78
here, I have
permit
to
that's a
admit,
3-bedroom.
and,
So I guess
It
it
wasn't
depends
much
which
in
one
there.
they pulled out
This-
first.
So this one said 40 or 42.
And so they didn't really, well, this is for 78, and this was for a repair of the old system, correct? That was for the permit to repair the system.
Yeah, it's not
So
like it's a
now-
permit, yeah.
Right,
What
exactly.
this have anything to do with it?
It's really, that was for the repair. And then this one for 99,
Joe,
this is just
Phil.
that it was inspected, right?
For 1999.
Mhm.
But I have a question on Part
Part
C.
Part
What's
C.
that got to do with the budget?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
That's
That's
1970.
that's 99 when Venture's bought it.
Okay,
See, yeah, it's when he said 40.
okay, so,
So I have a question on the
On this one.
the date of inspection 5/25 to 1990.
Oh, that says 4 bedrooms.
right,
It
but,
says 4 bedrooms,
See?
but the design flow says 440
right,
and
this is my
gallons per
question.
day, and at that time, we required
See, this is
150 gallons
440,
per
and
day.
it says
No,
that
I
was
think it was
4
still
bedrooms.
110.
It was 150.
In 1999, it was 110 per bedroom. And
99?
110 per bedroom since Title V started.
1999?
1999, it was 100 and, what was it, Sandra? Do we have the, do you have that book still?
In the
100
office.
Okay, thank you. Because I don't. So.
I know at one point that the town
And-
voted to, no, the Board of Health voted to make it more stringent than the
Oh,
state
than the state regulations.
Right.
Except that, 2 things. One is that that would have been on a new construction, new system. And 2 is, that should have been picked up by the Board of Health as a deficiency in that 1999 Title V report, if that were the case. So, again, I'm
But
not,
Who was the installer here? And I wanted to find out this, because Edward, because the installer, wherever the installer paperwork is, that put in the, Edward is.
Conrad Conrad Eaton,
Yeah, Eden was the installer, correct?
yes,
And where's?
in 1978.
That paperwork. So that's from 78, but where is it, where this 99,
Installed in 1999 one?
Kevin
Well-
Murphy, if I'm not mistaken, if you
do you
read.
have any?
Yeah, let's see.
And so because he installed it and
I don't think there was an installation
No,
in
I think it was,
99.
It was
no,
just
just an
an-
inspection.
It was
it
a
was just,
Title
it was
V.
just
It was
a,
a-
it was just an inspection.
Title
So
V
company.
inspection.
Permitting.
For a sale.
this is the only permit that we have on file?
Yeah,
yes.
that's it.
He
In
was a-
1990.
he was, Kevin Murphy was examining the system that was installed in
Correct.
1978.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we
he
don't
was
know what-
examining the system that it was installed for this house. We don't know that that 1978 installation went to this house. That's my
You're
point.
contesting that.
Yeah.
I see.
And as you said, Ms. LaFleur, Chairman, Ms. Chairman,
Yes.
it's also odd that it's called a repair, and it's not even a whole system.
Correct.
So that's
Makes me
also,
wonder even more.
it also troubles me because this inspector's report clearly says we have what looks like a Title V system. It says 440 gallons, it says there's a 1,000-gallon tank. If the system to that antique house was that 78 permit, I don't think they were doing that in 78.
That was for a repair.
Yeah.
And it was what originally?
Well,
Cesspool.
A cesspool.
do you know when the other two homes were built?
I know alls I know is that we have the for sale advertisement when the previous owner, the one we bought it from 1981, and that other house was
Was
erected
the-
at that time. It was already up at that time, because they have it for sale there.
And that's
So
consistent
they had an
with-
81 build. It was new?
I don't know when it was
Oh,
built.
it's
I know it
just-
was standing in 1981.
Okay.
I have no
Okay.
other information.
have
It's not
another
my
rec-
property. It's any, so.
Boy.
I think it's this one.
Yes, they talk about that house there. And I've been in there. It sounds exactly like that house. I've been in
She
there.
thinks that this, see, this is again what I think. This permit was approved in 78 to fix the house that was sitting on this lot, that it was at that time all under 40 because it was all in one ownership. He gets the permit, he fixes or repairs that system, draws the dividing line, subdivides for sale, and this is the 81 listing of that house, that Cape for sale is what they think. And all the chronology makes sense to me.
State, whatever.
The bottom, the top is not it, the bottom house there, that little 3-bedroom Cape at the bottom is what they think is the 3-bedroom that matches this permit.
So well, I think we need to look into this a little bit more, personally. I'm very confused at this point, so. It is confusing. I understand your concern here. And with that being said, we need to speak more with Kayleen about this, okay? Because I can't really make a determination at this point. I don't have enough information on hand. And if this is all you've been able to research,
And
we
in
should
our
been able
file,
to.
quite honestly, you're not gonna get more
Nothing
information.
else.
I've already spoken with Kayleen and with Sandra, and we've gone through our file.
No
and it's-
deed records, nothing has been looked at, nothing, I mean, have you found? No.
I've only looked through the health department, and I went to the Neshoba Board of Health's office in Air, and they have not one scrap of paper on our property. It's so old, I mean, that's.
I have the
Right.
deed records, they don't tell
Okay.
you anything.
They don't say
No, it says that he sold, Stephen Johnson, who's the owner of the whole thing, sold 36 to DeRose. It was Lot 2.
Was it all one big house or something at the time?
Well, you can
It's
see
all
on the
this.
permit,
It was one-
it was one property. On the permit, it says it's 6 acres, and our property is 4.7, and our neighbor's property is a little over an acre.
Okay.
So I'm, at that time, it was one property acreage-wise on, what is it? So, and I know they broke off pieces of it, and what we bought was just the Colonial, the 4.7.
So this is also,
So the
What's
Cape
the
is the
point?
one that
Separate garage and
borders
it's
the
got-
conservation land?
No, that's on the
Yeah.
other,
the other
that's
side.
actually the Homeski's property on the other side of us that abuts the conservation. It's the one on the other side of the house.
The brick one.
so this is the 6 acres.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 6 acres.
6 point.
And that matches what the permit says is 6 acres, 6 acres,
Mhm,
okay?
mhm. That's from 78, right?
From 78,
Mhm.
and this subdivision plan is from 78,
But
so
the-
those two match.
But this is really a repair. This is what I'm, a
So-
repair of the system, so.
So right after 78, and he gets it repaired, Johnson is the owner at the time, Johnson sells to can't read it upside down, DeRose.
DeRose,
Does that say
okay.
DeRose?
John DeRose,
He sells to DeRose Lot 2, which
Mhm.
says he repaired the system here and put that house on the market for sale and sold it in 79.
Gotcha, okay.
See?
Mhm.
So he's then done, I'm going in this order now.
Right,
Then he's done the subdivision and he sells off Lot 2. Then come along in 81, Johnson, the owner, sells to Kane, their predecessor. And this deed is no, sorry, this is their deed. This deed should say 81.
right.
So he sold off Lot 2 first with this repair permit. And then he sells this one 2 years later.
This
This
lot.
is the antique colonial. Yeah, the antique
Now,
colonial.
when that transaction happened,
And no, I don't think Title V.
where was the Title V?
I don't think we had the Title V inspection from
in
81.
81?
I don't think it hadn't been enacted yet. I can't remember the date of
It's
enactment. but
95, was
It
it?
was in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we
95.
So
weren't doing
then-
Title V inspection.
But
So
then,
then,
now,
Kane sells to Ventura's, Kane to Ventura, okay, in 1999. And that's the first time a Title V gets done because it's the first time. It's the first time they have to do it. And I'm saying, I don't think they went back to this permit, this 78 permit, because that 78 permit had already gone with the house that was sold
Look
off.
at the 150 gallons.
Is there a number on that
was
house?
in
The one that was sold off?
2013.
Was that part of 38 to 42, or is that?
Originally, it was 38
Here
to
we go.
42. And then when it was sold off, it was probably given a new number for postage
So this
and,
was-
postal
Okay.
service and other
2013
things.
it changed.
But
from
originally it was part of
150
38 to 42.
110.
So was it 150 back?
150 back in 99 on the town records. Town 150 gallons. But what was this property at that time? Was it one big house? Was it a house with a, this is from
Is it two-
81.
In
properties?
So then
99,
in 99, what was the,
one big
One
house.
big house.
That second building wasn't on the lot. It's one big house and 4.7
7.
acres.
well, this is very confusing. I'm sorry to say. I need to review this a little bit more.
No, our challenge is that we've been on the market for 90 days, and we really need to get a Title V inspection so we know where we are for negotiating.
Okay.
And we bought the house as a four-bedroom, marketed,
Right.
purchase price reflects the
Four
four-bedroom.
bedrooms.
And we had an approved, by the Pepperell Board of Health, sign that this Title V was accurate, and it clearly states four-bedroom design, four-bedroom approved. Whether that was in error or not is regardless to me, because I bought the house in good faith that it was considered by the town of Pepperell a four-bedroom, and I had all the documentation in front of me to prove it, as well as tax records to show that we were being assessed as a five-bedroom. So there's no reason for me to think it would be something different. Now, if we were to have to sell the house and it would not be considered a four-bedroom, I have a financial loss between a four-bedroom and a three-bedroom. And I've paid taxes for 18 years on a larger house than you may say that I currently have. So, we're trying to, regardless of if you can figure out which is the right one, in any case, I have an approved Title V for a four-bedroom system from the town of Pepperell.
And essentially that should serve legally as an estoppel. In the absence of any other evidence that you have to the contrary, that should serve as an estoppel to try to claim, 18 years later or 17 years later, that these poor people have been deprived of, what's essentially the fourth bedroom.
Going by the last Title V I see here, and the information that you turned in, I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
This is,
So
I'm
back
just
in
kind of
1999,
confused.
was it 150 gallons per day per bedroom?
Back in 1999,
That's a crucial question.
for the Pepperell's code.
Back in 1990, if you look in the binder there, it will show it was 150 gallons. And then in 2013 is when that was abolished and 110 came into effect.
So we need to see, back in 1999, that it was 150 gallons. She said it was 1990.
Yeah, the board at that time, see right there,
Right here.
chair, lady, woman.
Multiple dwelling unit per bedroom, 150 gallons per bedroom per day.
The problem is this wasn't,
And this is 99.
but this is not a system constructed in 99. It's a system that had been in existence from way before 78, that the inspector said was built to handle 4 bedrooms in the dwelling because there were 4 bedrooms in the dwelling. And that's the problem. And this,
So you're saying those codes are for new construction?
those codes are for new construction. And the Title V was at 110 when the system was built, and that's what this septic installer's, the certification report says, that there's 440 gallons, 4 bedrooms, 110 per bedroom.
This was just for construction in general, back in 1990.
Mhm.
This,
At that
Right.
time was approved for.
so if it was 150 gallons and it was 4 bedrooms, right? It would have been a bigger load than 440. I don't know. This
But it
is
wasn't
something
built. It wasn't
Wasn't built.
built in 99.
I
It
think
was
we-
built in 78.
Or, no, I think it
No.
was built before
No,
that.
it
That
was
house
built
has
before
been standing
78.
But it
since
was a
1848.
It was.
It's an old house.
system.
There was no, yeah.
It's an old system.
But it was, this is for repair, that's why I need to figure out more what's going on. We need to speak with Kayleen on this, and Kayleen is not here tonight, I'm sorry, unfortunately, she was not able to be here tonight. And so I can't determine at this point, without doing a little bit further research here.
Madam Chair, respectfully, I don't know when your next meeting is.
The 5th.
The issue that I see is that Kayleen is not going to have any further information than what she gave me. I found this permit and that's all there is.
Right.
And I'm making an argument that I think is a valid one, that the dates are too coincidental for it to be anything other than that 3-bedroom 78 permit went with a 3-bedroom house that was split off. The dates are just too coincidental.
Right.
They get the permit in 78, they split off the lot in 79, and sell it in 79. Just too coincidental.
So Sandra, what,
But was the approval here from him, from Ed, he was just showed that this was whatever, but who was the inspector that,
Kevin Murphy?
yep, and it was for sure. All right, but we're back around that block again.
Now, I think we need to take a close look
Yeah.
at the other 2 buildings.
To see what's going on.
Kayleen needs to do.
Yeah,
to
she
do.
needs to
So-
find out what those numbers are.
Right.
We have to,
Because-
we
But
have to,
if
Are
I
you
can
still
step back a
with-
second and say, so what you find out, and if you put all the pieces together, if you come up with something different than we have come up with, and say, well, no, it's a 3-bedroom. I personally have an approved Title V from the Pepperell Board of Health. So what you're telling me, if you come back and say, this is a 3-bedroom system,
we won't necessarily do that.
well, I'm just saying, if
It's
you
not-
do,
Like I'm saying, we don't,
then it's clear that who was the Pepperell Board of Health agent at that time had made an error. And it's not my, it shouldn't be a burden that I would need to bear. So,
I understand what you're saying. I do. I understand the confusion and all the
I don't understand what the big deal is here. We got a financial problem going here?
Okay, well, they're trying to sell the house.
I-
But the river-
I'm asking, do we have a financial problem going here?
I don't
As
know,
a Board of
I don't
Health.
know what you mean, Phil. What are you trying to say?
Does the Board of Health have a financial problem going here? They have a financial
Right,
problem.
I
They are
understand.
taxpayers of the town.
I
We are
understand.
here to benefit the people of the town. We're to help the people of the town. And you know what I'm saying?
I do, I hear you, Phil.
I mean,
I do.
we
Phil.
have a problem here with this situation. I mean, I've been on this board now for 9,
Okay.
10 years.
But they,
And my
okay,
job here is to help the people in the town
so they're,
and to maintain the order of the rules and regulations of the Board of Health. And
Okay.
the Board of Health, we got a health problem here?
we don't know that.
What do you mean you don't know that? I'm asking you, do we have a health problem here? I don't see one,
Okay,
and I don't see a financial problem here.
okay,
I do see a financial problem here on their side,
okay.
and they're people for the town. They're people that've been paying their taxes for many
I
years.
totally understand. I totally agree with you.
And I want to make a motion that we
Approve this.
approve this, because these people have been in town for a number of years. And I know them well, and I know they're good people, and I know they've, and I want to make the motion.
You want to make a motion?
I want to approve this with,
That this is a
and if you
four-bedroom
people don't go along with it, that's fine. But I made the motion.
I understand, Phil. I'm just trying to get the facts.
I mean,
Okay,
you get a little bit picky, you too much sometimes.
okay.
But if this was a problem with the Board of Health financially, or it's gonna cause a problem down the line, I mean, this is gonna make money for the town because it's a 4-bedroom and the town's gonna make more money.
Correct.
We have
Okay.
never had a problem.
I'm sorry.
And you haven't had a septic.
I'm sorry if I exploded a little bit,
It's
but
okay. Take it easy, Phil. It's okay. It's okay.
You're going to have a
Understand.
Title V.
Yes,
Right,
we
you
have to have a
you
Title
have to have
V.
it done
And
anyway.
your safeguard is that,
You have a Title
That's
V.
right.
Title
They're
V
gonna
has to
sell the
pass.
place, they have to have a
Yes.
Title V.
But we have to know the
Right.
bedroom count.
Yeah, we just don't want him to go to the town hall with it saying 4-bedroom. They say no.
Well, if the Title V demonstrates that
It's
it's
good.
adequately
Right.
for a 4-bedroom house,
The Title V will
then
show
that will
everything.
take care of it, I think.
Mhm.
I apologize to my board for getting a little bit
It's okay, Phil.
upset.
then I would ask you to act on the motion that we can go forward as if it's a 4-bedroom Title V and
That's
have
my
it titled
motion.
that way, and have a Title V that way.
To have it inspected as a 4-bedroom.
To have it inspected as a 4-bedroom under the Title V
That is my
regulation.
motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to.
No, I get it.
I get it.
Believe me, I was on it all day trying to figure out.
Wow.
Trying to go through old records and
Keep
stuff.
on that, it's not, you want me to take it back.
We need this. This is ours, and this is, where's the,
Oh, you're welcome.
this is all of
This
yours.
is yours.
I did nothing.
This is all of
Just
yours.
sit and listen.
Thank you. All right
It's
then,
all in order. I was very careful.
thank you for doing all of this
Appreciate your.
work. I understand your frustration, totally understand. Thank you for
I
coming.
hope you have good luck selling the house.
Nice
Thanks.
to meet you too.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
You're welcome.
All righty. So, with that being said,
Kayleen will run a knife through.
it's all right. Maybe she will, maybe she won't, you know? So it is, they still have, you know.
Yeah. So is, the motion
Did you
is
get the
that there,
motion? Because
it's a,
that's-
Yes.
it got a little confusing. I have, Mr. Journal made a motion to approve this as a 4-bedroom system, right? And that's what the Title V says. And Cheryl Gould asked that it's being inspected
As a 4-bedroom.
as a 4-bedroom, but they had mentioned they have a 5th bedroom.
They're looking for a 4-bedroom.
They want to advertise it as a
They want to
4-bedroom.
advertise it as, they want to advertise it as a
Oh.
4-bedroom.
Yeah,
But what if somebody buys it with the summation that there's a 5th bed? They walk through and say, oh,
no, it's only 4.
it's only 4, so they can't have that. Okay,
Right,
I
right.
understand.
No, it has
to
Okay,
be- Only
with the 4, okay.
It has to be on the
that's-
permit, on the
okay.
Title V, that it's a 4-bedroom.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure with this, right,
Right.
okay.
If they try to
Just
sell it as a.
read the motion
Okay.
because
Go ahead.
Mr. Durno made a motion to approve this as a 4-bedroom system with the Title V report being done as 4-bedroom. And then they're gonna sell it as a 4-bedroom, right? They're gonna put it on the market as a 4-bedroom.
Right, they're trying to
Okay.
get a
Yes.
Title V inspection for a 4-bedroom dwelling,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
now, if it were to pass as a 3-bedroom, but fail as a 4-bedroom, she's going to have a problem.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Title V is
That's what
for.
take care
Yeah.
of.
So
yeah.
anytime that the house exchanges hands, which kind of, this is why it was very confusing in the past documentation here. Well, it's okay. Going forward,
that's what I was
going
getting at.
forward,
It
And
had to pass Title V, which
I-
it may not pass.
exactly.
Because it's an old system.
And I understand, Phil. And I understand what you were
And
saying
if it does
too.
pass, it's a 4-bedroom, period.
Right,
You know, and
That's
it's gonna be more money
Right.
for the town
correct.
if they
Correct.
sell the house.
If they sell the house. Right. It's a big
But
house.
but
It's
there
a
was no
big
problem
house.
here.
There's no problem.
I mean-
It's not that, it's just making sure that I have all the information
Lines,
that I need.
all those
That I
I's
understand
dotted and
everything, and I
T's
understand what
crossed
they're
and-
saying.
I understand, but I was
So-
getting a little frustrated.
Don't get frustrated, Phil.
I have a lot of things on my mind,
I
and I
know
was
you
just
do,
getting.
buddy. I know you do. Alrighty. Here we are.
I'll have to, look into, try to find out where those other homes come from and what they should be listed as. I did
Right.
ask the assessor, and she does have it listed as 38 through 42. So if there was a piece of property that did have that
That had been
3-bedroom
split
home
off at one time.
and sold, there's gotta be some type of record of a number.
There would have been.
There would have been.
That's
But-
why I'm a little confused as to,
Now that,
but it makes sense.
53 Rotten Street,
53.
that woman seems to think that we're, I don't know, call it
Mediation,
something, but,
mediation
we're
bureau?
not mediators.
No,
We're
we are not.
You
No, we are not.
know, she's gotta get her lawyer on the ball, and
It's important for people to watch their contractual agreements with landlord-tenant
yeah,
situations.
they should,
Because if it's a month-to-month,
you know, they
know?
should find out where these people have been,
right.
you know. Have they paid their bills?
And sometimes that's not easy to find out, Phil. You know, sometimes they look like, oh, yeah, you know,
They should check out their references, not only just get references, check them out.
check them out.
A lot of people get references, but they don't check them out.
Right.
And sometimes you do everything
You- and
by the
you're-
books.
Everything, and you can
Still.
have stellar, what they look like stellar tenants, and it
But,
can go horribly wrong.
I don't believe she's gone to the police chief and actually sat down and talked to him about
We don't know that. We
the
don't know.
tenants getting threatened.
We don't know.
Well,
We don't know this.
move on.
I don't know, because I don't believe
Move
the
on,
chief
move on.
is just gonna sit on that.
We don't know for a fact, maybe, we don't know. There might be something, you know, that they're looking into.
That's why I
whatever.
say.
So we don't know. We don't know all of these things. All we know is that what we see in front of us.
Well, that's what I tried to tell her, I mean,
Right, and you were right. So, with
Those
that
things-
being said, shall we close the meeting?
oh, I thought we did.
Nope.
All
We
your
are gonna
quick
Oh, we're
ones-
still on the air?
It's all right. We're discussing, you know, we're allowed to discuss. We have open discussion at this point, so it's okay.
Okay, fine. I
And
make
so
a
now,
motion.
shall we have, at first, we're gonna have a future meeting date. Is everyone okay for the 5th, I hope?
Oh,
Philip?
yeah, I thought we did that too.
We're gonna do that for sure. Because she's gonna come back on the 5th, and hopefully she'll get some information that she needs from Kayleen. We'll meet again on the 5th, and we'll go from there. And at this
Sounds good to me.
point, we're gonna close the meeting. So I
So-
make, oh, go
Could
ahead.
I just ask, Madam Chair? I'm
Yes.
sorry if I called you Lady Chair
That's
or
okay. You can
Chairwoman.
call me.
No,
Mrs. LaFleur, Chair.
In regards to 53 Groton Street, now the board okayed that they come back on the 5th.
That's correct.
Do they need a letter of extension going for another week, saying that the board approved of another week? And you return on the 5th, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I think you should.
Okay, thank
And
you.
and they're gonna come back in, because I do want her to speak with Kayleen. I want
Okay.
this to be, and maybe they might have to come back in on the 5th if Kayleen can get some
Okay.
kind of,
Right.
information or whatever she needs to do beforehand.
Right.
Then we might extend it for a little farther.
Okay,
But at this point, we'll just say it. We'll
Okay.
extend it until the 5th.
5th, okay, very good,
Please,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. All right, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So move.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. I have a motion and a second to close the meeting tonight on August the 22nd, and we are at 8:16 p.m. And thank you for watching, and good night.
All those in favor?
All those in favor state by saying.
Aye.
He's